Hi, this is Lee from coloringqueen.net, and today I have a book for you. It's published by Posh, who make quite a lot of colouring books, and this one is based on the art of Thomas Kinkade, who is known as the painter of light. And I've got to say, this colouring hobby has really helped improve my knowledge, because I'm ashamed to say I've never heard of Thomas Kinkade. He's not the style of art that I would normally have in my home, but now that I have the colouring book, I can really appreciate it. And that's another thing I love about colouring. Not only am I learning about all different types of art and cultures and all the different types of themes of colouring books, but if I did want a Thomas Kinkade, and they're quite expensive now that I've researched him, I don't have to, buy Thomas Kinkade. Part of his whole philosophy was to put colouring into, or put painting into the hearts of the average person. And that again is what colouring does for us. We might not be able to afford an original piece of art by Thomas Kinkade or any of the other lovely artists that I've featured in colouring books before, but we can afford to buy the colouring book usually. So this one is by Posh, and Posh always produce their books in a certain format. So they're a soft cover measuring approximately 24 centimetres, and I'll put the inches in the description or on my blog for those that use the imperial system. So it's 24 centimetres by 18 centimetres, and nice cover, half coloured in with the rest of the drawing. And from what I understand with Thomas Kinkade, his whole thing was being able to put a light and airy feel into his paintings, and that was why he's one of the most collected artists. So inside we have a blue cover, and we've got a repetition of the title page. Now, I would have hoped with a book by a well-known artist like this that there would have been a lovely nameplate page, but my hope is lost on this occasion. But, I think Dagdrama has spoilt us for nameplate pages and a lot of the other books, and now it's sort of something that I really want all the time. So it's perhaps a little bit unfair on publishers and artists, but it's something that I sort of look for and I really want nowadays. So I always think it's a good spot to test out your mediums and also test out your blending, etc. Now, on each of these 64 pictures for memory, there's also the original reproduction of the original artwork. Now, I will have to say this book is well out of my colouring skill, because it's not in like little tiny detail that you colour in like Secret Garden or something like that. This is more outlines of pictures, and so you really need to know how to blend up these bushes and trees and stuff to get that sort of look to it. And that's, certainly not within my skill set, and I'd really class this as a colouring book for more advanced artists. Now, of course, you could do it without all that blending and shading, and there's also images in here that you could colour in and sort of solid and they'd still look quite all right. But the majority of the images, you're going to have to add in some of that detail and blending in order to sort of complete the picture. So over here, if you just coloured those in blobs, it just wouldn't look any good. You really have to sort of build it up the way they've done over here. So the paper is fairly thin. It's the same type of paper weight that Posh usually use in their colouring books. And one of the advantages is that the images are double-sided, but in this case the reprint is on the other side, so it's not going to bleed through onto any of your black and white drawings, but you may get damage to the reprint if you're using textures or markers. So it depends on how strongly you feel about keeping hold of that original reproduction over there. So I'm just going to flip through the rest of the book for you, and I hope you enjoy it. and I really would love to hear your thoughts on whether it's something that you could colour in. I know just looking at it that it's out of my realm at the moment, maybe one day. You can see that some of these images are right up here to the spine, but there's still a few mil of space there, so you should be able to get your pencils in there. And there we have it, the Thomas Kinkade Painter of Light colouring book. I really class this for advanced colourists, but I'd love to see people that are just starting or with skills similar to my own give it an attempt. I'm a little bit intimidated by it, so I'm going to put my copy aside until I improve. But good luck to all the rest of you. And this is Lee from coloringqueen.net. I'll see you next time for another colouring book review.